What's up guys, how's it going? My name is Tyson, and today we're going to be diving into the world of styles and style guides. Specifically, we'll be covering how to create new style guides and maintain them inside of ClickFunnels 2.0. All right. With that said, this is going to be super important if you're trying to maintain a strong brand look across the board for all your pages. Doesn't matter what you're creating here, pages, funnels, funnel hubs, all that good stuff, and make it so it's super easy to have nice presets for all of your buttons, your font styles, font sizing, all that good stuff right from the get-go. But with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the editor here and I'll show you how to set everything up step by step. Okay, we're currently on my dashboard here inside of ClickFunnels 2.0. From there, let's go ahead and click on settings on the bottom left-hand side of the left-hand navigation. Once that loads, go ahead and select styles over here. It's near the middle of the screen here and within that secondary navigation. Okay, now once we're here, let's go ahead and click on add a new style over here on the right-hand side of the screen. All right, from here, we can go ahead and give this guy a name, and let's say, we'll call this new video example style, right? That way I know which one it is. You can always come back and rename it in the future. It's not set in stone. I'll show you that in a second as well. But once we click create style, it's going to take us right back to the styles main page where you're pretty much viewing all of the different styles you have inside of your account. Now, if you want to, like I said, you can always go back and adjust the name. You just got to click on the gear icon here for that specific style. And from that, it'll just take you into the editor where, again, you can change the name. You can also remove a style if maybe you created one by accident or if you maybe created a clone by accident. Either way, just know that that is there. You can always remove any styles that you create as well. All right, moving back, let's go ahead and click on that little back arrow there. Before we move forward, there's a couple things that I wanted to address before we actually set up the style guide. One, I already addressed the settings here, the option to edit, but the next one is going to be to clone a style. So if you create a style and you want to use it as a good baseline moving forward for maybe just another project that you have, that's totally fine. Just click on a little duplication button here to clone an existing style. Now this is going to clone all the presets you've set up, the colors, the font styles, the font sizing, everything there. It's also going to have the same name. So if you wanted to, again, just clone that style and then use it for another project, you probably want to rename it. So clone it, then go back to the gear icon here. From there, you can adjust the name being used. And that's it. That's all there is to it. And then you can customize the palette and everything like that, and it won't affect the original, which is pretty cool. But with that in mind, another thing to point out on this page is you can see which funnels or pages are actually using this style guide or whatever style guide that you're using or creating, right? So as you scroll through, I have a bunch of different style guides. See, I have like a total of 39, so nothing too crazy. But if I go through, you can see each of the funnels and pages that is using individual style guides. Here we go. This makes it super clear to see what is currently using a style guide. You can then know if you want to remove anything or what is actually going to be affected if you make any changes. It tells you that, gives you all the information you need right from the get-go. Now, with that in mind, let's go ahead and dive into actually adjusting the style. In order to do that, all we have to do is click on a little paint palette here, and it'll take us into the customizable dashboard for your style. Now, as we land inside of the style guide editor here, you can scroll through on the right-hand side here. It's going to give you an overview of all the presets that are currently enabled or set up for this specific style guide, right? Scroll through, we got shadows here, you got borders, you have buttons, all this good stuff here, all in one area. And you can see that for both mobile and desktop. Okay, now we can adjust each of these individually. Just click on them on the left-hand side of the screen here. Click on fonts first, and we kind of break this down. So for the fonts, you have the choice to choose between different font styles. Right here for your headlines, your subheadlines, your content, you can have specific ones set for each, which is pretty cool. Definitely allows you to just have that set. You don't have to go and manually change everything inside the editor. You just have it preset right here. Up here at the top, we have the option for base font size. This is mainly referring to rem if you use that inside of the editor. Rem is just another method of sizing different font sizes, right? Or choosing font sizes inside of the editor. If you choose rem, it's just going to be a multiple of whatever number you set here, right? So if you're using, say, if you type in 1 rem inside of the editor, if you're like overriding anything, it will be based off of whatever base font size is set here for both desktop and mobile. So 1 times 16, if you just do 1 rem, it's equal to 16 pixels, right? As an example, if you do 2 rem, it's going to be 2 times 16. That's it. So that is it. That's all you have to keep in the back of your head as you go through this. I typically go with even numbers, but to each their own. Definitely choose what works best with you. Just know that, again, it's going to be a multiple of whatever you put here. So if you use rem, this is going to be your bread and butter here to making sure the sizing is correct. Let's go ahead and click on either update or discard, depending on if you actually made these changes. And from there, we'll go to colors. Now up here at the top, we're going to start with theme colors. You have 8 different options as far as presets that you can set up on your side here. And just makes it super easy to select between everything for different elements on the page, especially text, different headlines, all that good stuff. It just makes it super simple to click through and select the colors that you already have there without having to find the hex code somewhere written down on a notepad you have on your desk. Moving down, we have the option here for paint colors. Now, paint colors are essentially just preset templates that you're going to be using for different colors, whether you want it to be for a section or a row, but whatever you set it to, it's going to make everything inside of it inherit to the color scheme you have set up for that specific paint color, right? So we have 5 different presets you can set up here. You know, lightest, light. I mean, those are just labels. You can technically just lay it out or create it however you want. But essentially, if you go in here, you can change the background or the base color that you want the section or the row to inherit, the headline colorization that you want everything to have, the subheadline, the content, the link. So if you want the link, say, to be like white, you can go ahead and adjust it here. Now, any links within that given section or row will inherit that color. Okay, same thing for bullets, all this good stuff. Boom, just like that. Again, whatever you put here, it will inherit within the section or row that it is set to. Okay, moving back, let's go and discard or update, depending on if you made changes. Moving on to shadows here, we have 3 different opportunities to set up presets. So maybe you have like a light one, a medium, heavy, totally up to you. You can adjust the colorization, you can adjust the spread, right? Get crazy with it. I would recommend just setting up things that you are going to end up using in the future, just to make your life easier, something that you find yourself gravitating towards, or as far as design goes, most often. Now, you can always come back and adjust this at any point, but highly recommend just take an opportunity to come in here and adjust it to something you will actually end up using. All right, we'll go ahead and discard this for now, but moving on to borders. Same scenario here. You have 3 different options to set up presets as far as maybe light, medium, or dark. You know, you can adjust that. You can adjust the colorization, the stroke size, all this good stuff. All this is meant for is to save you time in the editor. Okay, moving forward, we have buttons. For buttons, we have 3 different presets that we can create here. Same as what we mentioned for shadows and borders. The one thing that's going to stand out a little bit when it comes to buttons here is that you have 3 different states. So just remember that as you create these. We have default, hover, and pressed. And if you want to interact and see how it actually functions, you can use the first set of examples here for each of the buttons, and that'll show you what it will look like. So again, we have the hover states or hover style set as this lighter blue. So if we hover over the first one, we can see how it functions. But essentially, the default is going to be what the button looks like before it's clicked on. The hover is going to be when you interact with the button without clicking on it. And then you have the pressed option right here, which is going to be the color that it's going to assume when the button is clicked on. Right, you see there, for example there. Now moving down, we have the option for like primary text style. Make sure to adjust the actual font style that you want to use here. It's not going to inherit what you set up in the style guide as far as font style goes. You have to set it up manually right here, at least once the first time. And after that, it'll use the same font every single time. Right, so we have primary text, we have subtext right here. We have text shadow. You can go in here and manipulate it and customize as much as you want. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and just discard this, and we'll move back a little bit to the main page where we can click on corners. Now, same scenario here. You still have 3 options as far as presets go. Corners are essentially gonna be the rounded edges of either a section or a row or a column. You can adjust it or add that for any of those, but yeah, you can select through them. Create as much of an array or an assortment of options here that you'd like to use. Okay, now that is it when it comes to actually setting up your style guide. Just make sure to update each portion here as you move through the style guide, so that way it's actually saved as you move forward. Okay. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into a funnel here, and I'll show you how all this is going to work in practicality. Okay, we're currently inside of a funnel page here, and I just want to start off by saying that it doesn't matter whether you're in a site page, a funnel page, creating a course. Those are all going to use styles, and I do have a video going over how to add styles to different funnels and how the hierarchy of styles works inside of the platform. Make sure to check it out if you are not too familiar on that. But anyways, I'm just going to show you in this video how to actually use the style guide inside of the editor. Okay, and again, it's going to apply for all those locations I mentioned. All right, so starting off at the top here, we got sections. If we go to the settings for any sections or rows, we will see the option for paint right here at the very top, right? So right now I have it set to light background, but if I went ahead and adjusted it to like colored background, you see how everything kind of formulates or changes based off of that selection? That's because of the style and how it's set up. It has a background set to blue, the headlines are all preset to white, and you can see the button over here set to white as well, right? And again, you can do that for sections or rows. So over here, you can also choose none. If you don't want this to be applicable at all, you don't have to use it. It's not required. It just speeds up the editing process a little bit because it has presets for everything that's going to be included inside of that section, right? So just keep that in mind as you're going through. It is definitely a tool that you want to learn how to utilize. Okay, so in this case, I'll go back to lightest, and from there, we're going to go into the row, and again, you can add it here as well. Just know that it is the same thing. It applies the same way. Whatever's living inside of that row will receive the changes or will be affected when this is changed, right? Now, there's nothing in this one, but if there was, everything would be affected. Okay, we'll go ahead and just remove that. Now, the next thing here to mention here is going to be text. We'll just jump into text. So anytime you're trying to adjust the style for text and you want to inherit the style you have already preset, just use these styles right here for small, medium, large, or extra large. Just for example, right? We'll click through. You can see how it is going to translate that to the actual editor here, to the view that we're seeing over here on the left-hand side. And that's for every text. So it doesn't matter whether it's headline, subheadline, paragraph, it's going to affect it the same way. You're on the same options as far as typography and style. Just go over here and you can click through. There we go. All right. For buttons, it's the same thing as kind of what we went over for text. You're just looking for the sizing, or sorry, style rather. In this case, just look for style. And from there, you should see those three options that you created. So 1, 2, and 3. And right like that, everything adjusts as far as the font style being used, the coloration, the hover effect, all that good stuff will be affected. Okay, moving on, let's go back to a row so we can kind of address how to use borders, shadows, and corners. All you have to do is turn these guys on. Once you do, again, you'll see the same options as far as styles here. Boom, boom, boom. You can see how it's affecting the editor there. Same goes for shadow. Just turn it on. Same goes for corner. And you can just select through the presets that you already have there. If you notice that there's an override in place, which in this case there is, you can tell that by this guy right here being selected, the three dots. If you use this is essentially going to let you choose anything other than the style that you've created, right? So you can still use these as they're usable, but if you're looking at the page and you decide that what you're seeing is not exactly what you want for this particular section, that's okay. You can always override. Click on the three dots here, or there's also an override option depending on what you're looking at. Right here you can see it for border, right? But either way, the three dots is going to function the same way as far as that override goes. But now you can go in here, you can adjust the blur, you can adjust the spread, and right now we're affecting the shadow, just so in case you're curious there. There we go. But that's going to be for everything. Anything that uses a style, you can always override it. Click on the three dots, and after that, it will let you change it. All right. Same for corners, all this good stuff. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm not actually... Oh, you can see it right there for the row. It just wasn't wide enough. But again, same thing. You can always override any style. Let's show you that for buttons here, just so you can see that as well. Again, you can either click on override or click on the three dots here. Either way, it's going to let you override what is currently there. So we want to change the hover color to, I don't know, white. There you go. You can definitely do so. Okay, that's basically it when it comes to using a style inside of the editor here. Just know whenever you're looking to use a style guide, as far as like changing which preset is being used, just click on any elements or section or row, and you're looking for style, specifically style, right? Anything with the word style in it is going to be referring to your actual style guide or the options created from your style guide. Okay, now another thing to mention is that you can also edit the style guide directly in editor here as well. So if we go to, say, this headline right here, and we want to edit a style directly rather than exiting the funnel and going back to settings and clicking on styles, again, you can do it right from where you are right now. Just click on edit style and it'll show a little pop-up window with the same options that you had before. And that way you can just make the changes real quick, save, get back to the funnel, and not really waste any time. All right, and that wraps up style guides as far as how to use them, how to create them, all that good stuff. Just know that everything can be adjusted. Nothing is set in stone here when it comes to style guides. It is going to definitely speed up a lot of things you do inside the editor, especially if you're using the same colors all the time, the same button styles all the time. It's going to drastically change your lifestyle here. So with that said, I hope you found some value in this video today. If you did, feel free to share it with a friend, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But also, if you have any things that you have questions on or want some clarity on, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'm more than happy to help as best I can. I'm definitely here to do so. But aside from that, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.